Everyone loves the ocean until they learn what actually lives in it. Forget sharks, forget jellyfish. Today, we're talking about the sea creatures you would never survive. Not with weapons, not with training, not even with luck. Because the truth is, the ocean isn't just home to predators. It's home to perfect killers. Creatures so toxic you wouldn't feel the sting until your heart was already failing. Creatures strong enough to crush you, drag you, drown you, or swallow you whole. Creatures that hunt with strategy, camouflage, electricity, venom, and raw power. Most of them you'll never see coming. Some of them you'll never even see at all. These aren't accidents waiting to happen. They're encounters no human can walk away from. Today we're diving into the ocean's deadliest creatures, the ones where a single mistake means one outcome: death. The box jellyfish doesn't roar, thrash, or chase like other deadly animals. It doesn't need to. Its power lies in something far more terrifying: invisibility. With a transparent ghost-like body and long, nearly invisible tentacles, it drifts through the water like a living landmine. Swimmers have been stung without ever seeing what hit them. By the time victims feel the burning pain, the damage has already begun, and there's almost no time to escape. What makes the box jellyfish so hopeless to survive isn't just the sting itself, but what the venom does the moment it touches your bloodstream. Its toxins are designed to cause instant neurological shock, blood pressure collapse, and heart failure, sometimes within 2 minutes. Imagine that not enough time to swim back to shore, call for help, or even scream. The venom attacks so aggressively that many victims drown before they even lose consciousness. Even worse, box jellyfish can extend tentacles up to 10 feet long, each lined with thousands of microscopic harpoons. Touch even a few centimeters, and the venom begins to overload your system. Touch several feet of it, and survival becomes almost biologically impossible. No weapon, no skill, no preparation could save you. This creature doesn't hunt you, it just exists, quietly waiting, and that's enough to end you. The giant squid is the closest thing we have to a real-life sea monster. For centuries, sailors told stories about tentacles rising from the deep, dragging ships into the blackness below. Most people assumed they were exaggerating, but they weren't far off. Giant squids grow longer than city buses, with tentacles tipped with razor-sharp hooks capable of slicing flesh in seconds. And unlike most deep-sea creatures, giant squids are built for combat. What makes surviving a giant squid encounter impossible isn't just the size, it's the environment. These beasts live thousands of feet beneath the surface, in a world with crushing pressure, freezing temperatures, and total darkness. If a squid decides to grab you, it's not pulling you toward the surface, it's pulling you deeper, down into the dark zone where humans cannot physically survive. Even if you escape the tentacles, the pressure alone would kill you long before you reach the bottom. And then there's the strength. Giant squids have 8 arms and 2 tentacles, each limb capable of exerting immense force. They use this power to fight sperm whales, the largest predators on the planet, and leave scars on them. If an animal can battle a 50-ton whale, a human stands absolutely zero chance. The moment you're wrapped in those curling limbs, your ribs would crush, your lungs would collapse, and you disappear into a story someone else tells years later. Most people think sharks are the kings of the water. They're not. The most dangerous animal in the ocean, and in every river, swamp, and coastline it enters, is the saltwater crocodile. This creature is pure evolutionary perfection. Armored skin, ambush instincts, and jaws that slam shut with more bite force than any animal on Earth. One bite and bones don't break. They explode. The reason you have zero chance surviving a saltwater crocodile encounter is simple. You won't see it coming. Salties attack from below, exploding out of the water with shocking speed. They can lunge from a standstill and cover several feet in a fraction of a second. Once you're in those jaws, you're not escaping, not because of the teeth, but because of the death roll, a spinning maneuver that tears flesh, breaks limbs, and disorients prey until they stop fighting. Even if you somehow avoided the first strike, saltwater crocodiles can swim faster than Olympic athletes, crawl faster than most humans can run, and hold their breath for over an hour. There is no terrain advantage, no height advantage, No fighting technique, nothing. If a saltwater crocodile decides you're food, the only thing left to determine is how fast you lose. The blue-ringed octopus is stunning. A small, palm-sized creature covered in glowing neon rings that pulse like warning signs. But those rings aren't decoration. They are nature's version of flashing sirens. This tiny octopus carries a venom powerful enough to kill 20 adults in minutes. And here's the most terrifying part. Its bite is painless. Victims often don't even know they've been bitten until their muscles stop working. The toxin used by the blue-ringed octopus is called tetrodotoxin, and it shuts down your nervous system like flipping a switch. Within minutes, you lose the ability to move, speak, breathe, or call for help while staying fully conscious. Imagine being completely paralyzed underwater, aware of everything happening, unable to swim or even float. Survival rates are close to zero unless someone nearby performs CPR for hours until the toxin wears off. Unlike other deadly sea creatures, the blue-ringed octopus doesn't attack without reason. It only bites when threatened, stepped on, or picked up, which is exactly why people die. They think it's cute. They think it's harmless. They don't realize they're holding one of the deadliest animals on the planet. If you ever see glowing blue rings in shallow water, run. You're already too close. The great white shark is the most famous ocean predator for a reason. It is fast, intelligent, and designed with every feature needed to hunt efficiently. With rows of razor-sharp teeth, a bite engineered to remove massive chunks of flesh, and the ability to sense electrical signals your muscles produce, you cannot hide. You cannot trick it. You cannot outswim it. The great white is not just a hunter, it's a missile with fins. What makes survival nearly impossible is the great white's attack strategy. They strike from below, accelerating to speeds over 25 miles per hour, using the element of surprise to hit with bone-breaking force. Victims rarely see the shark before the first impact. That hit alone is often fatal, but even if it isn't, the blood loss afterward usually is. The shark doesn't need to stay and fight. It bites once, swims away, and waits for you to weaken. And while great whites don't intentionally hunt humans, a test bite is still enough to end a life. A single bite can remove limbs, sever arteries, or cause instant shock. In open water, survival doesn't depend on strength or skills. It depends on whether the shark decides to let you go. That's the scariest part. Your life is entirely in the hands of an animal you can't negotiate with. The stonefish is the ocean's deadliest optical illusion, a creature designed by nature to be stepped on. It doesn't swim fast, it doesn't chase prey, and it doesn't need to. Its entire strategy is simple. Lie on the seafloor, disguise itself as a harmless rock, and wait for something or someone to make the worst mistake of their life. The stonefish carries venom that ranks as the most potent of any fish on the planet, stored inside 13 needle-like dorsal spines. The moment you apply pressure, those spines fire upward like biological hypodermic needles, injecting a toxin that shuts down the body in multiple ways at once. The pain is described as beyond torture, worse than childbirth, and enough to make you want to cut off your own limb. That's not an exaggeration. Many victims have begged doctors to amputate. But the agony is just the beginning. Stonefish venom triggers tissue death, nerve damage, uncontrollable swelling, and paralysis. It can stop your heart within minutes. Even if you survive the cardiac effects, respiratory failure can finish you soon after. Anti-venom exists, but here's the problem. Stonefish don't live in medical centers. They live near beaches, river mouths, coral reefs, and shallow tropical waters where people walk barefoot or swim without realizing they're inches from disaster. By the time help arrives, the venom has often already begun shutting down vital systems. What makes the stonefish especially terrifying is how common the accident scenario is. You don't have to provoke it. You don't have to touch it. You simply have to step where it's hiding. Its camouflage is so flawless that even trained divers struggle to spot one before it's too late. You don't even know you're in danger until your body begins shutting down. If survival is a game of awareness, the stonefish is the creature that gives you zero time to react and zero chance to escape. The cone snail is living proof that the deadliest killers in the ocean aren't always the biggest. Some fit in the palm of your hand, some look like shiny, collectible shells tourists love to pocket, and some carry a venom so powerful that a single drop can kill dozens of humans. The cone snail hunts, using a harpoon not metaphorically, literally. It fires a hollow, razor-sharp tooth at high speed, injecting a cocktail of toxins called conotoxins directly into its victim's bloodstream. These toxins shut down nerve communication, meaning your brain suddenly loses control of your body. Victims collapse, unable to move, unable to breathe, fully conscious as paralysis spreads. There is no pain after the first moment, not because the sting isn't severe, but because your nervous system stops working almost instantly. The most terrifying part? There is no anti-venom. Once the toxins begin to spread, medical treatment is limited to keeping your lungs working long enough to hope your body can fight the venom on its own. Many can't. The nickname divers give it the cigarette snail comes from the grim joke that if it stings you, you only have time for one last smoke before the paralysis hits. But the danger isn't only underwater. People have died from cone snails while standing safely on dry land. Simply picking up a pretty shell without knowing the creature inside can kill faster than almost any snake or scorpion. Cone snails use their venom to hunt fish, which are far faster and more agile than humans. The toxin works instantly because if it didn't, the fish would escape. Now imagine that weapon designed for high-speed ocean predators hitting a slow, soft, unprepared human. There is no scenario where you outrun it, no scenario where you fight it off, and no scenario where survival is guaranteed. One sting, one harpoon, one moment of curiosity, that's all it takes. In the entire ocean, few creatures combine beauty and lethality the way the cone snail does. It is the definition of look but don't touch, because if you touch it, you won't get a second chance. Orcas are proof that intelligence is the most dangerous weapon in nature. These animals are not mindless hunters acting on instinct. They are strategic, coordinated, emotionally intelligent predators that treat the ocean like a chessboard. Orcas communicate using complex vocalizations, assign roles within their pods, and adapt tactics based on the prey they are hunting. If they see a seal on an ice floe, they work together to create a wave big enough to knock it off. If a whale calf is being protected, they take turns wearing the mother down until she exhausts herself. If a great white shark tries to flee, they anticipate its escape route and cut it off. This level of planning is beyond any human swimmer's ability to comprehend, let alone survive. What makes orcas so terrifying is that they are not afraid of humans, and in some cases, they're curious enough to approach, test, push, ram, or play with boats. A playful orca is still a predator the size of a bus, with a bite force capable of crushing bones instantly. Lately, pods of orcas near Europe have begun attacking boats deliberately, working together to disable steering systems and sink vessels. Scientists believe they're teaching these behaviors to younger orcas, meaning an entire generation is learning how to dismantle human technology like it's a toy. Unlike sharks, orcas don't kill quickly. They exhaust their prey, they toy with it, they drag it under and bring it back up. They drown it slowly, methodically, and they do it without ever losing control. If an orca decides you're interesting, there is no outswimming it. If an orca decides you're prey, there is no fighting it. If an orca decides to investigate, there is no way to predict how the encounter will end. Humans like to believe intelligence protects us, but against a creature faster, stronger, more agile, and operating with the intelligence of a team, intelligence becomes the very thing that guarantees your loss. Orcas don't just overpower you, they outthink you. The Portuguese man o' war isn't a jellyfish. It's a floating army, disguised as one creature. It's made up of specialized organisms working together. Some form the gas-filled balloon that keeps it afloat. Some form the stinging tentacles, some digest the prey, and others reproduce. This bizarre colony drifts across the ocean like a purple, translucent trap. Its tentacles can extend over 100 feet, long enough to ensnare swimmers who never even see the main body. The venom is designed to kill fish instantly, to paralyze and immobilize anything that touches it. When that something is a human, the tentacles wrap around limbs, torsos, and even faces, injecting venom that causes shock, respiratory failure, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest. The horror isn't just the venom, it's the way the tentacles stick to skin like wet fishing line. The more you fight, the more you wrap yourself. Every movement tightens the grip, activates more stingers, and increases the venom entering your body. Even divers wearing full wetsuits can get stung through the fabric. And the man-o-war doesn't die when it hits the beach. Its tentacles can deliver lethal stings for days after washing ashore. Many beachgoers have been stung without ever entering the water. What makes the Portuguese man-o-war especially deadly is that survival is as much psychological as physical. People panic when stung, thrashing wildly as their body floods with pain. This panic is exactly what kills them. The tentacles act like living razor wire, tangling tighter around anyone who struggles. And unlike a shark attack, which is over in seconds, a man-o-war sting can last for minutes that feel like hours, with venom continuing to fire into the bloodstream long after contact. The Titan triggerfish may not be the size of a shark, but ask any diver and they'll tell you, this fish is one of the ocean's most terrifying attackers. They are extremely territorial, especially during nesting season, and unlike most fish that flee from humans, Titan triggerfish go on the offensive. When they decide you've crossed into their territory, they don't bluff, posture, or circle. They charge, fast, directly, with teeth sharp enough to cut flesh and jaws strong enough to break fingers. Their bites have torn through wetsuits, snapped snorkels, and left lifelong scars on experienced divers who thought they were safe. The truly frightening part is the triggerfish's attack zone. Most dangerous animals protect a horizontal territory, a circle on the seafloor, but Titan triggerfish defend a vertical cone that extends upward toward the surface. If you swim above their nest, you're already inside the danger zone without realizing it. When they charge, they aim for the face, the ears, and the fins, often circling behind you to take multiple bites. Divers who panic make it worse, because the triggerfish becomes more aggressive if you flee. Titan triggerfish don't just bite, they pursue. They chase divers all the way to the surface, sometimes for over 30 meters. Their relentless aggression, combined with their speed and maneuverability, makes them nearly impossible to escape without injuries. And escaping to the surface isn't always safe. Rising too fast can cause decompression issues, meaning a triggerfish attack forces divers into a dangerous choice: get bitten or risk serious medical complications. If the ocean wasn't terrifying enough before, now you know the truth. Some creatures down there are unbeatable, and we've barely touched the list. So if you want a part 2, with even more sea creatures you would never survive, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which creature shocked you the most. The ocean is beautiful, but some of its residents are pure nightmare fuel.